Happy holidays, everyone. Well, it's Christmas Eve, and now what do I have to say? Well, right now this is part 3. I want to talk about my favorite Christmas specials and also favorite movies. Now, when determining when I think of Christmas movies or Christmas specials, there's a lot in my mind. So right now I'm just giving you like what I think is the best for me. And I'm probably going unscripted here, and so I just have to tell you that I'm just going to go through a bunch of Christmas movies that I have right here into like what I think is really great that I like to watch every holiday. Well, one of the movies that I like to talk about is Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. Like, this is a movie that I saw like one day on TV, and I thought it was like really entertaining. And there's actually something before this. There was Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, but I don't really think that it's really that good, because some people I've talked to saying that that's better than Twice Upon a Christmas, but I think this is the best because it has great animation, great CG, and all of your favorite Disney characters in this one movie. Now, it's not really too much of a movie, it's shorts. Like, one short is about like Huey, Dewey, and Louie trying to go into Santa's workshop and make sure they're on not on the naughty list, but make sure they're on the nice list to get gifts and presents. There's another one where, of course, it's the usual Mickey-like situation. Of course, Mickey has his own part in the special where he's searching for his dog, and he's starting to learn from like how he's mistreating Pluto. And there's a bunch more, but I don't really want to tell you much. Now, another Christmas special that actually is really a special, not really a movie, but they say it's a movie, is the Koala Brothers' Outback Christmas. Now, the reason why I like this movie is because there's just so much in it that not many people know about. Like, you're probably wondering, who are the Koala Brothers? Well, they used to be a show on Disney, of course, in the kids section. Right now it's called Disney Junior, but before it was called Playhouse Disney. Now, this special right here is probably not the best, but of course it's something I like to watch every single year. It's like it's a special about the two koala brothers who are trying to get their friend Penny home for the holidays. Like, they want to bring them to celebrate Christmas together, and it's a joyous adventure. Like, they go to the Outback into the North Pole. Like, there are some situations where there's some kind of subplot about one of their friends trying to be in charge, but like, the concentration of the story is bringing Penny the Penguin back to the Outback to celebrate Christmas. And it's a wonderful movie, and it has probably the great stop motion animation I've ever seen, and it's a wonderful movie. There's the only problem that I had with this, it's a hard movie to find. Like, I've checked around Amazon, and it's kind of pricey when I looked at it. I don't know if the price changed over the time, but it was pricey when I tried to get the movie because, you know, it's a movie I've always wondered. You know, I got curious ever since I saw that special. I've gotten curious to try to watch the movie. So, but still, it's pretty neat when you look at it. Now, a special that kind of is similar to this is probably I don't know, something from like Dora the Explorer or something. Like, it has a similar plot twist and everything, but you know, it's not as good as that. Another Christmas special that probably many people already know is Ernest Saves Christmas. Now, this is a special I really like. I've kind of heard it's something from Nostalgia Critic. He said it was good, so I just decided to know about Ernest first. Like, I've watched the commercials, I've watched the first movie, and you know, I decided to check out the Christmas special, and it was pretty darn good. Like, it involves like this the Santa Claus in the movie, where I think is the best Santa Claus I've ever seen, where it involves him trying to get into another job, where he has to give the job, pass it down to another Santa Claus, and it's a pretty interesting movie, and the comedy is very well done, and I think this is a movie to pick up. Now, I'm going to go a little bit more obscure here. Now, probably not many people think that they are Christmas movies, but Batman Returns. Now, of course, this is not considered a Christmas movie. This is really just another Batman film. It's the Tim Burton Batman Returns. Now, the reason why I think of Christmas when I think of this movie is that it takes place on Christmas. It kind of has the great setting. It kind of has some things involving Christmas, but, you know, it's more concentrated on the Batman story. Now, Batman, like, is played by Michael Keaton, and of course there's Danny DeVito who plays the Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer who plays the Catwoman. Of course, that's a more darker point of, like, of course everyone says that this film is too dark, but, you know, I did have a good feeling of Christmas when I watched this movie because it has the right kind of point there. I do think of Christmas a little bit when I think of this movie. Another movie that probably not many people have seen that probably is something not Christmas related is, of course I'm not showing the whole thing, but it's part of my Blu-ray, is Rocky IV. Now, Rocky IV, of course, is part of the Rocky series, but somehow I really think of Christmas when I think of this movie. Now, the reason for that is because it takes place on Christmas. In Near the end of the video, you can see Rocky training, you know, in snow. Like, I love snow. Like, you know, it kind of has that feeling. And also, his son is watching him on TV while there's a Christmas tree in the background. And it just, I know that it's first a boxing movie, but it becomes, you know, a little bit like Christmas. And the end song, Hearts on Fire, is really really entertaining. I love the song in this movie. Like, it goes through my head so much. Like, I really think of Christmas when I watch this movie. Like, I don't think too much of it, but but of course, Sylvester Stallone in the end of the movie says Merry Christmas. So clearly there's some Christmas involved in this movie. I don't really recommend it if, like, you're looking for something more related to Christmas, like something like A Christmas Carol or A Christmas Story. That's more related to Christmas than Rocky IV. But still, I consider it Christmas. Now, I do want to talk about other Christmas movies. I don't think there's, like, too much I'm going to talk about, but there is a movie that many people have seen. It's called The Polar Express. Now, it's the same team who brought you the Back to the Future movies. That's right, Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg. Now, when you think of Christmas, this is a movie that you've got to see. It's based upon the famous book, but, like, what I really like about this movie is the CG. Oh my gosh! I mean, like, you don't know if it's people or not people. Like, of course, it's obviously a cartoon or, like, you know, but when I look at this movie, it's like the CG is so good that I really thought I was watching a live-action movie. I kind of had felt that same way when I watched another film that Steven Spielberg made called The Adventures of Tintin, that's also based on a book. Like, I really, like, I was blown out of my mind. Like, whoa, Disney got their butts kicked by Steven Spielberg. Like, that's what I think of this, because of course Disney brings a lot of great animation, but this animation right here is literally probably the animation of the future. Like, I don't know, that's how I feel how it is. It's just because the animation, like, it feels real. Like, you feel like they're human beings. They move really fluently. Like, you know, it's a great movie, and I highly recommend it. I mean, it's probably a movie that not many people have the same experience. Most people like to watch the movie in 3D, or probably they, unless there's a limited access to go see it in IMAX, like probably it would. But this is a movie that I, of course, would like to watch without 3D and without IMAX. It's that good of a movie to me. Probably to some other people, but to me, I really recommend the movie. It's that good. There's also another movie that not many people know about. It's based upon the Jeremy Creek story. It's called The Town That Santa Missed. Now, I wasn't really expecting anything special when I watched this on Cartoon Network or something. Like, I watched this on Cartoon Network or on ABC Family. It was either on any channel at the time or Boomerang. Like, when I watched this special, I think a little bit about myself. Like, I felt like that movie kind of felt like how it was me at the time. Like, the story explains about how a young boy, he's incredibly greedy. Like, he literally cares, like, barely about anyone else. He cares about his family, but, like, he really wants so many gifts, so many presents, and so many things that he doesn't give it to other kids or anything. And he becomes so obsessively greedy that he tries to make the biggest list to Santa as much as possible. But then Santa mistakes his letter and thinking that it's a town instead of an actual person's name, and it ended up being a real town called Jeremy Creek. It's a town that he has never visited, and it's like a poverty town. It's filled with poor people, poor children who have no clothes or nothing. And so Santa goes to this town and gives a list to Jeremy Creek, like the town, not the actual person who wrote the list. And so Jeremy's like really upset that Santa missed his house, and like he literally cries throughout the film until he sees like a broadcast or something where somehow he gets the feeling that he's done something really good and something very very, charming, heartfelt, like, it's something that he's never felt before. And he starts to learn that giving is so much more than really just trying to get. He learns that lesson, of course, that it's based on, like, the poem of the movie, but that's a movie that kind of felt like me. Like, I felt like one of those kids who wanted everything, but then I started doing something good, and I felt like that kind of feeling where I shouldn't always be greedy, and that I should actually be more into that point of trying to not, just try to actually make sure to be nice and to be thoughtful to everyone who's been so great, like my parents, my teachers, my family, my friends. Like, I have that feeling, and this movie is a great lesson to show to people who have probably never learned the idea of giving. Now, I do recommend that movie for specific people because it's not really too cheery, but it is something worth watching. Okay, so there are more films that I like to talk about, but like of course, like there's just too many to count. So I can give you as much as I can. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and hope you have a joyous New Year. And so, Merry Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas, and thanks. FC100 signing out, and see you in 2014. Oh my gosh, the movies that are coming out that year.